So at board meetings, we do a couple of different things, and most of you, I presume, start out with an open forum. You either start with an open forum or you end with an open forum, and then you have the agenda that you go down. That agenda is really intended, and I've made this clear in the past, and I'll make it clear again, that's your business list of things you're going to take care of at this business meeting, which is the board meeting. It is not a homeowner forum for them to come in and gripe and complain and tell you how to run the association. You're there to conduct the business of the association, but the California Civil Code came along because of all the secrecy that went on many, many years ago. There was a time, and I was around at that time, when board meetings were secret and nothing discussed was ever brought outside the boardroom, and all the homeowners were in the dark, didn't have a clue what was going on. And the Civil Code, the law, the legislators came through and said, we're going to turn this around. We're going to force you to make your meetings open meetings. So they did that. That scared all the board members. If you were around at that time, you remember how nervous you were. And then beyond that, they said, now we're going to make you allow the homeowners to talk, because we kept the homeowners at bay by not letting them talk at all. The board members were nervous about them talking at all, so they let them come in and at least observe. They tried their best not to even let them know they were having meetings, but they got forced into putting the notice of meeting on the bulletin board. And then the next thing was, okay, they're still not getting it. Let's force them to put the agenda out there too. We don't really care if they change the agenda. Put something on there that tells us what they're going to talk about. They didn't make that very clear. And homeowners were then, we want to say something. They started raising up their arms. So the legislature came through and said, all right, you're going to have to allow them to speak. So what have we done? We've made the open forum sometime during the meeting. In some associations, they do it at the beginning for a few minutes, some at the end. Some actually have it like city councils do, where they can talk on each topic. As they bring a topic up, they allow an open forum to happen that way. That's not the recommended way, by the way, because it takes too much time. But if we remember that the purpose of the board meeting is for you board members to conduct your business, then that kind of helps set the tone. And by that I mean face each other. You don't necessarily have to face the audience. My recommendation is to have a V-shaped table such that the board members are partly facing each other and partly facing the room. That way their voices will project enough that people who are attending can hear what's going on, but board members can see each other and conduct their business. And if you talk to each other and talk as if you're conducting a meeting with each other, as opposed to making an announcement to your audience, you'll find that they'll appreciate the fact that they're watching the business being conducted, which is the whole purpose for them to have an ability to view the meeting. During the open forum, obviously, you want to have that time where each one gets to say what they want to say. I'm going to a number of meetings where the board members feel this urgent desire to respond to every comment that comes up. A homeowner talks about this issue down by the pool area, and the board wants to react to that and talk about that pool area. The truth is, the Civil Code says you can't do that. If it's not on the agenda, can't talk about it. And so how do we get around that? I want to satisfy the homeowner. I want to give the information out. I want to be forthcoming and transparent. But the law says I can't talk about it unless it's on the agenda. All I can suggest is we all need to be very careful how we do that. If you're simply explaining something that happened, and it's not something that's about to happen, then there's probably nothing wrong with it at all. If you're talking about a problem that occurred and how you resolved it, that's fine. If you're talking about how you're going to resolve something and the plans you're making, and it's not on the agenda, you're on the borderline of being across the line. So be careful about that. The easiest thing for you to do when Mrs. Homeowner or Mr. Homeowner comes up with a comment that is not on the agenda is say thank you. We appreciate your comment, and then point to your manager or point to the board secretary and say, would you make a note of that to get that on the agenda for the next meeting? And then the homeowner feels like you've taken some appropriate action and makes them feel good. Obviously, again, there's some comments where you do want to react. But the more you react, the more you interface with your homeowners, the more they feel like they're part of the meeting and they want to be a part of your decision making. And the truth is, they can't be. That's not in the Civil Code. They're not permitted to be. So in board meetings, then they got the open forum, and that's a good place for feedback. But you want to try and help the homeowners recognize that the purpose of that is to make you aware of something you're not aware of already, and somehow get the word across to them this is not a complaint forum, although it's the one place they can do that. I like to share with the homeowners, if you see a problem in the community, don't wait for the board meeting to come and bring it up. Call the management company right away and make them aware of it. Now, if your management company by chance is not reacting fast enough, that's the time they bring it to the board and ask the board to take care of it. But it should be taken care of quickly and not wait for a board meeting, and I encourage homeowners to do that. That makes them feel good as well.